Hello everyone, this is another video tutorial. This one is going to be over tomorrow's lesson over the rate of change and how to identify if a set of table data and only a set of table data is going to create a linear relationship. So obviously I'm going to show you how to do this with your TI Nspire. So I'm going to insert a graph and I'm going to move this around because the data that we'll be using today is going to be this data right here. Now this is very useful if the data again is reasonable. The x and y coordinates that I'm going to be using from my table values again as very reasonable numbers. Here notice they're all positive values. Here for the y coordinates all positive values. And the largest number is 16, the highest number is 8. So I'm going to move my grid so I can see more likely where that's going to be. Now I'm going to change the view and I'm going to add my grids. If you've seen my other video about how to dilate using your TI, then you know why I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to plot those points accordingly to where they're at. So the first point is 8, 2. X is 8, Y is 2. So I'm going to plot that on my grid here. So 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2. My next point is 12, 3. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. And the last point is 16, 4. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just to make sure that I actually plotted these in the correct place. All right, I'm moving my graph a little bit lower so I can make sure that all of these points all fit in the on my view. And just to make sure that I plot these in the right place, I am going to identify the coordinates of each one of these points. So the coordinate to that, the coordinate, and the coordinate to that is that. So again, 8, 2, 12, 3, and 16, 4, which is, I think, yeah, it's the exact same point. So I put everything in the right place. So again, just verifying over here. Now what we're going to do now is again create and be able to identify if what we have here is a representation of a linear equation. Now as you hear the word linear equation means that you're creating a line. So all we're asking for you to do is do these 3 points create a line. So the easiest way to check is to draw a line and see if I could get my line to go through every single one of these points. So I'm going to start my line right here at this point. Okay, plot it there and continue to the very end. So I'm going to put my first point and then go all the way to the last point on the very far right, click on it, and there I created a line. And as you see, look, all of my points do in fact fall on this line. They do in fact create a linear relationship. So my points are linear. And as a result, look, if I was to move this point out of the way, this would be an example of not being linear. This would not be a linear relationship because your points are not aligned. They have to be aligned diagonally, again, making a line going through every single one of these points. So this is how you create a linear equation by looking again at your points with your TI Nspire, plotting your points, connecting those points, and see if they're all linear. Now, the other thing that you'll be checking for now, since these things are linear, what they create is a constant rate of change. How is it that I'm changing from one point to the next point to the next point? Well, this constant rate of change is called the slope. Oops, let me go back to my current. Now what I want to do. So let me insert a text box real quickly. So again, so you understand what I mean. So what I'm telling you is that the change in rate is the same thing as the slope of a line. So rate of change, slope of a line. So what we're going to do is identify exactly that. What is the rate of change of this line? Because these 3 points make a line are linear, represent a linear relationship. So every really linear relationship has a rate of change, it has a slope. So we're going to go to our menu and we're going to go to the geometry aspect, and again we are going to measure the slope of this line. Now there's two ways of doing it. I could simply, since I already created the line, the easiest, most convenient way of doing it is just simply clicking on the line, and you're going to see that a number appears. And this number that we appear right here, let me just set it, oops, there, set it there, and then this right here is the slope of the line. Now most slopes are represented in decimal notation on the calculator, but when you're doing it without, you most likely you'll see this as a fraction. And the equivalency of 0.25, let me escape, let me get that tool, is equal to 1 actions, let me go to my text box, is equal to the exact same thing as 1/4. So 1 divided by 4. So the slope to this line is the same thing as equal to 1/4. So this is how you can use your calculator to create, again, a rate of change, a slope, to identify if your points, the points that we have here, are going to be linear, and they're going to represent a linear relationship, what this example does, and every single rate of change exists within these linear relationships. And identifying the linear relationship is quite easy, again, with your TI Nspire. So I hope this video tutorial was helpful on how to create a linear relationship, how to identify if 3 points create a linear relationship. Now the only downfall with this is that if you're looking at using points extremely big or extremely small, like say not, when x is equal to 1 and your y value is equal to 99, your x value is 50 and your y value is 43, then obviously this is going to be very, very difficult, because again, the grid is going to be way too small and it's going to be hard to place those points. As you see right here, I'm not even getting all of the grid. I'm still missing the other 3 quadrants to get a good view of the other 3 quadrants. But if the points, like on this one, they're very, very useful, they're very small and close together, it makes it very easy to plot, and there's very, very, like I said, they're close to each other. But if you're looking at points that are very far, far away with each other, then obviously this method is going to be very difficult to do. Using the calculator will be very, very difficult to do. Well, I hope this video again has helped. If you have any questions, again, ask me, comment, and send me an email. I will definitely answer all your questions, and we'll definitely go over how to do this, obviously in class, without the use of the calculator.